think I know you. I think I know what kind of person you are, what you are. What, like I've been doing perhaps downstream attention and saying this group's in field 1. Because I'm just taking my theory and I'm just pushing it on the situation without even stopping, and really upstream attention is noticing what's happening in the group right now, what's really going on, instead of what are my projections of who you are, what this situation is. When I think I know what's going on, I'm doing downstream attention. When I think I know you, I'm doing downstream attention, even if we've been in a deep relationship for 10 years. If I think I know you fully, then I'm in some way probably not doing also upstream attention, which is really paying attention to you right now and seeing how you're a different person than you were a moment ago. And it's a fresh new soul that I could encounter instead of my stale old thoughts about who you are. And so in field 1, we're really in our stale old thoughts. Even though we're with a new group of people, we take all our stale old thoughts and just start placing them on people and not really paying attention to people.
Is it probably very... I immediately have to think about how I treat my family. How I treat my family. Yes. Oh, that's typical.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that really looking at them in who they are now, in this moment. I still remember that you were that sort of person.
Yes. And in the, back here, downstream attention is really ruling over these first 2 stages. It's not until the 3rd stage that there starts to be cracks in our downstream attention, and we start to be much more likely to be surprised by how people are showing up or by the situation, because we realize that whatever we think is going on, whoever I think you are, that's not who you really are, and that's not what's really going on. So it wakes me up a little bit, so there's cracks in my perception so that I can see new things. That tends to not happen until field 3. Okay, so for this next part, we're going to get a partner. So select a partner. Does anyone not have a partner? Okay, so first, just reflect on, you just selected a partner. How did you, like, if you're going to assess yourself in terms of, oh, sorry, going on there. In terms of what field you were in, like it was just a moment, it was mostly unconscious, but which field were you in selecting the partner? It's not anything to say, it's just something to be aware of. Okay, so now the partners are going to get 2 different names. One of your names is polite, and one of your names is conflict averse. So decide between yourselves which partner you're going to be. One partner is called polite, and one partner is called conflict averse. Okay, just a quick reflection round. See, we're going through this cycle. Can I get everyone's attention? So again, we just acted. You just chose. One of you should now be labeled polite, and one of you should be labeled conflict averse. Just quickly reflect on what field you came from in deciding who was what. Were you like, when the other person just said, were you just like, yeah, I'll do the other one? Maybe you were a little bit like, it doesn't matter. But, or were you the one that said first, or were you the one that let the other person decide? Just notice that. Yeah.
To me, polite and conflict averse are much alike.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But it's like, who took the initiative to start to label, to choose a label for yourself? You might, if you took the initiative, you might do more of a preference for field 2. And if you refuse to take the initiative and make the other person decide, then you might have more of a preference for field 1. It's just something I noticed. Okay. So, with your partner. Okay, can I get everyone's attention?
Probably should get.
I just noticed that I just made a mistake in my own way of being. Part of how I'm supposed to facilitate this is that in the polite quadrant, which we're in now, or in the polite stage, I'm supposed to be polite. And I'm yelling and being demanding, which is going to make it harder for you to feel what it's like to be in the polite stage. And so, I just want to confess that as a way to maybe undo it. So what we're going to try to experience the polite field right now. So with your partner, just start talking about something, but don't go deep. Don't let it get very intimate. Just keep it very polite, like you're uncomfortable with this person and you don't really want to get intimate or deep with them. Just talk. Go ahead. Small talk. Yeah, small talk. So just take a moment to just feel your body. Notice how this feels in your body. Just anchor that. Just make the intention that whenever you feel this way, you'll notice that you feel this way. And I recognize that we probably didn't have a pure experience of field 1. There's probably too much intimacy here. But there was part of it. Try to notice that part. What we're going to do now is we're going to move into the transition to field 2. So, actually, don't worry about this right now. Polite, all the people who are polite, put up their hand. That's your word. Well, yeah, the other one's conflict averse. So, the polite people are now going to not be polite. So you're going to move into field 2, and you're actually going to be quite obnoxious. But the person who is conflict averse, you're going to stay in field 1. And so the person who was polite and now is not polite, start saying outrageous things that you think this person probably doesn't agree with. And the person who's conflict averse, don't get in an argument. This person might stop liking you if you argue with them. So just find a way to either agree or not disagree. Try to be very skillful at avoiding any conflict or avoiding saying what you really think, because you could lose this person as a friend if you do. Okay, conflict averse? So, impolite person, go ahead and start. Notice what that experience was like. What does your body feel like right now? Was it a familiar feeling if you were conflict averse? Or was it a familiar feeling if you were the impolite, obnoxious one? And how did it feel for you to do that? Just notice and briefly reflect on that feeling.
It was too hard for us to be serious about this.
That is a defense mechanism against the experience.
I know, but
absolutely.
We're the victims. Sorry.
Sorry? Yeah. Okay. So, if it was hard to be serious, try to act harder, because it is a way to protect ourselves from really getting the experience. Because part of us is still in field 1 and is actually afraid of this being real. But if we make this more real, it will be more powerful. So now you're going to switch roles. The other one's going to be obnoxious, and the first one will just politely find a way to not get into conflict.
So
and just violate who you really are, just to avoid conflict and make sure you're really afraid that this person might not like you or you might not be accepted. So just somehow agree or don't say anything or change the topic when they're saying these outrageous things. So go ahead. Okay. your body, feel how that experience was to be in your body through that. And just notice how familiar or unfamiliar it was for you, and if that was hard for you, or if it was